Welcome to Beck's Bug Out Survivor tailoring series. Last time we got the Northern Ireland patrol sack and we upgraded the side rocket pockets, so 10 litres, one here instead of the smaller 5 litres. It's made a big enough difference that I can put exactly the same gear I would have in the Bergen and put it into this for wild camping. But the bit we're going to alter today is this bit here, the lid. This top lid has a 2-way zipper, so that's what we're going to do, take that off and bring it in further down here, and that should be this finished off. Given the nature of the top pouch, which is reminiscent to me of the top pouch I took off on the S90 PLCE Bergen, I know it needs measuring before I move it. So I need to measure it by its width and by its depth and everything like that, and then replicate them measurements to where I want to move it. If you don't, the bottom forms a different shape, which if you're not looking out for it, you don't know about it, you can pull too tight and it becomes more of a sleeve than a pouch. So get them measurements pretty accurate. I'm somewhere around 27 centimeters. Just measure out here the width, and I need to try and replicate their measurement down here to the bottom of the actual pack. Now on the bottom of the pack are these ladders here. Now I might have to lose these lower ladders. I don't want to remove the 4th ladder, which has that Z stitch there, albeit reversed. I want to keep that and those row of stitch in there and get rid of that and that. Okay, it's a very tight measurement. I've got 28 thereabouts and about 26 I think on the front of the actual pack. So we'll play this by ear. I'm hoping this will still go on, but I need to remove the top lid here. So I'm going to close up the lid and remove, hopefully just with a sharp blade, but I might even start off with a seam ripper. I'm just looking for a little seam ripper to start me off with. It's probably in the wrong box. It is. So a very simple seam ripper, and then I'll bring in a razor blade. I think I'll be putting the stitches back in once I've moved the pouch, using saddle stitch, because these are stitches that are going to be seen, so they have to be neat. I'm going to be back to you in a short while when this is off, because this is going to be a little time consuming and you're not going to want to see me go through every single stitch. There you go, that lid is off. So I want to make sure I keep to nearer the measurements I measured out at first. I don't want to exceed the width, and unfortunately the length is going to be pretty close to that 28 centimeters. I'm going to unpick all the loose stitches here And it's these little jobs like tidying up all the loose threads that is going to make your job look a lot neater. And if you don't make your job look a bit neater, no matter how good and neat your stitches are, it's always going to look a bit shoddy. So tidy up all them loose threads, pull them out. I know it's time consuming, this bit, without actually putting any stitches in, but it's going to be worth it at the end of the job. I'm going to put some tacking stitches in. Now a tacking stitch will replace a pin. It's just one little stitch, hold everything in place. Now if you don't want to do tacking stitches, try using pins, but I mean it is quite thick Cordura I'm going through. It's 1000 Cordura and this feels like about 600. I've still got some daisy chain here to remove on the bottom of the pack. I've penned a quick incline at the 14 centimeters here. And I'm removing this because once the pouch goes on, I don't want kit that I'm putting in the pouch getting tangled up in here. But I'm just going to see if I can slice through the stitches. It's either going to help or it's not. I haven't tried this before. Okay, that is loosened them up. A treat, that's off. I think I'll do the same again here. There's the stitches. Just repeatedly cutting through them. Lifting as I go. I don't want to cut into the pack, so I've got every stitch and every little bit I do has to count. So this is in lieu of doing it with a seam ripper, that method. And it's worked. Happy with that. So bring in the bottom here of the pack and offer up this here, which is the pouch. Treat yourself to some decent needles. Bring in the pack. This is the bottom of it, and bring in this pouch that I want to sew on. I'm going to measure to get its centre, and the same again on the pack, because you really need to work from the middle outwards. Right, I've got 20, let me see, just under 28. Do the same on the pack. On the pack I have, now the pack is actually smaller here at about 25, 24, so exactly 12. Because the pouch is actually longer than the pack, I'm going to have to pleat it. It's pretty simple. Needles through, and once the tacking stitches are in, I'm going to run a needle through, or 2 needles through with a saddle stitch, and just see how I get on. Yeah, I really wanted to put some saddle stitches in this because it's neat, and I only have 1 needle of the size that is required for that kind of fabric. My other two needles are far bigger. It's great on the 1000, but on the 6 and 400s denier Kajura, it'll open up too big a hole. Oh, it's a shame, real shame. Okay, let's load up a sewing awl. It's really disappointing that I couldn't use a saddle stitch. I really had my heart set on that. Now there is a full how-to of a sewing awl on this channel. I've got an existing, ow, straight from my thumb. Yeah, I've got an existing line here. I can follow that stitching there, so I can keep it straight, so I don't have to pen a line in. Now all the magic is happening on the inside of the pack while I make a loop and bring a tail through the loop, and that is tricky because you are seeing as much as I am right now with my hand in the pack. On the sewing awl in the other hand, it's all done by feel, but please go and watch the full how-to in detail, in-depth video of how to use a sewing awl if you haven't already and you are new to the channel. I'm quickly running out of natural daylight to film this now, so I'm going to carry on with it all the way around, and I'll do that tonight, but in 1 minute's time you're going to see it, I think, pretty much finished. I'll have sewn all the way around, but first here's a couple of tips for you. Let's have a look at the quality of the stitches. They're about 3mm done with a sewing awl. Really happy with that. The smaller you keep your stitches, the neater the appearance. It really does pay dividend to actually take your time and make 3mm stitches. Don't be tempted to put big stitches in to get the job done quicker. But with me, I love my sewing awl. I could do it all night, and it looks like I'm going to. It's not going to be the easiest, and there is a pleat left to do at the bottom here, as you can see, and that is sorted out. A pouch that is wider than the packet's going on. Following day for me, and it's all sewn on all the way around, apart from the corners where we need to put the pleats. So let's have a quick look at it before I show you how to do the pleats. And I might make that bottom pouch some kind of sundries kit, or even first aid. All it needs is a little first aid badge painting on the front there. Okay, we're back inside now, out of the wind, but we've got the machines on in the background, so we'll have to work around that. I've just got things in it just to bulk it out, just to show you how it would be, but the corners aren't actually sewn in, so let's turn this upside down. I've got a good example somewhere. I might have already done that side, I'm not too sure. It's a little gap here where my finger can still fit in, and rather than sewing around it in this funny arc, I need to push it in, and with my hand on the inside of the pouch, push it together. I'll show you again. Just push that corner in, pinch together, and then bring in a needle. I've got a little hook needle, and just put maybe 1 or 2 stitches through there. Now I can tie off, and it'll bring them 2 pieces together into the shape I need, and then I can just continue sewing with a normal needle. And now it fits like a dream. The pouch was about 3 centimeters bigger than where it was being fitted to. So what I managed to do was sew it obviously from the centre, pulled outwards, and then where usually it would lap over, I tucked the corners in, making that pleat. I actually sewn the pleat, then sewn the pleat to the pack. It's really pretty simple, and I'm probably making a bad example of explaining it. I've left the tails on the outside. I usually put them on the inside so they can't be seen, but that's going to be impossible to film. So I've left the tails on the outside. We get a lighter, and with the kind of wax thread that I have, you can sear the ends to make a weld, and that's what we're going to do now. Got a couple of tails there. It's just the final part of the process. And this wax thread, now that has made a weld. Let's get some light onto the situation. There you go. So you can see the pleat is here, and it's been folded in, and I've stitched around. So I've got two more bits to do where I can just weld the very end of the stitch. There. I don't usually leave the welds on the outside. In this case it didn't matter too much, but let me just put that finishing touch on before we go. So it's just time to put that finishing touch onto the back of this NI 30 patrol sack, and it will be the emblem of the first aid, which is a white background and a red cross, and inside I bought some acrylic paint pens. So let's have a look at them. And these are the new pens, set of two, white and red, and I'll put a link for these, the acrylic pens. And I need a little black Sharpie. I hope I've got one in here. Yeah, and I'll do the outline with that. I ordered acrylic pens, but if you can hear that, then I don't think that's acrylic, it seems oil based, I think. So I'm going to use a lid of a jar and a Sharpie and trace out the shape I need. I had to hunt through a few jars to find the right size, but it should be simple enough. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that's lovely, that's lovely. Let's just tidy that up a little there. Now it does have a roller ball in it, so I need to shake it up. And it just looks like a felt tip pen. So I'm going to start dabbing. Here's the white coming out, dab some more and use the nib like a brush so I can create the thickness I want, and start round the edges. And it's just a case of keeping in the lines. Now it doesn't actually smell of acrylic, it smells very oil based. Okay, about 20 minutes has elapsed and the white seems dry. I'm going to put the second coat on now and we'll see how that goes. if you have a mask or some kind of respirator, I would recommend it. Well, that white went on really well, just 2 coats, and I'm happy with that. The red now for the actual cross that goes in the middle. Again, I need to make a template, draw around it and put that on in red. And freehand these in. Okay, we're ready for the red. These were £2.50 per pen, so for a £5 I could get this little project done. So there it is after just 1 coat, and I'm happy with that. I really am happy with that. It looks a treat. Now when it comes to filling this full of equipment and having a closer look at it, we're going to take it outside into the woods to do that, and I'll show you its capability. Now it has the extra 10 litres on the sides, how it's affected things, moving the top lid to the front. The double ammo is great for my water filter and my hot drink in the flask, and I think that is going to be the best solution to show you its capabilities, is using it for the day out in the woods. And a similar request was that I do the same with my British PLCE S90 Bergen, totally modified. Somebody wanted to see everything put in the pack and taken into the field and have a really close look at it. So we're going to do the same with the NI Patrol, and I absolutely love it. I'm going to use this a lot more because I hardly use the S90 anymore. So until next time, enjoy yourself, have a go at doing this, and I'll see you out there. Happy trails.